What's going on, guys? Today, exciting day. It's minus 25, so we're inside. Got our heater cranked. It's doing great. We're doing full race car with the Civic sedan. That's how you know it's a race car. So today, we're tackling the old header wrap. This is not gonna be a how-to. I can barely tie my damn shoes. I might have a tip or two. I would watch literally anyone else's video though. So yesterday, I got my beautiful B series header. DNA. It's not LS. Got our DNA long tube, or header, or manifold, or 4-to-1. It's actually not bad. Like, it's got the bracket welded on, it's got your O2 down there that we're not going to use. But like, for just over 100 Canadian pesos, that is not bad. So I'm pretty happy. What we're doing is that I did wrap the D series header. What I'm doing differently this time is we're not going to spray it with the black silicone, so it'll have this naked look, kind of like these old turbo manifolds we did. These are factory cast, so they don't look too great, but that's looking a little better. Like I said, everything you see me do here, don't do, because I am total garbage at this. But I'll show you what you need. So there's a couple different wraps you can get. This is going to be the titanium one. And this is made out of actual lava rock. It's actually pretty neat. Should look into that, it's something. You can do the titanium, or you can do the fiberglass. Really the only difference, I think titanium can handle a little bit more. But most importantly, this one will wrap on much easier. It's a lot softer. It's a lot easier to work with. You do not have to wet this when you're using it. It's perfect. It's bloody cold out. So, still recommended to wear gloves. The other one that you do. Like, look at that. They're already, like, freezing up. Those are not made for Canada. I'll show you guys quickly what you need. You're going to need some good stainless steel ties. And then I grabbed some nylons as well. Because, honestly, these can be a real pain in the ass. Especially with the cheap ones. Then you're going to want some side cutters. I got myself a tiny little needle nose plier. Wait, what the f did I just say? A tiny little flathead screwdriver. That's staying in. And then in the background, we got our tiny needle nose pliers, so don't have to be tiny. Needle nose are best for what I do, for how I do. So the reason I have the nylons is I'll start at the top of the header, which is also not ideal to most people. And then I'll put a nylon there and it'll hold everything nice and tight. That one's not really necessary because if you're wrapping it correctly, it'll hold itself. Then when I get to the bottom, I'll throw a nylon on here just so I can hold the whole thing and then start the 4-hour struggle of doing the stainless clamp. So that's the only reason I have the nylons. Ideally, most people will say you start at the collector and work your way up. From what I've seen, again, I haven't looked too into this. Probably should, maybe I wouldn't suck so bad, but usually they start at the bottom here and wrap your way up. Because I am so terrible at numbers and anything and stuff and science and stuff, I usually start at the top here and then wrap my way down. That way I won't have like 2 feet of extra up here that I just cut off and waste. So my idea here is I got 2 banks going. So the back one doesn't have to look too pretty. I did this one last night. Just to hype myself up, and it really made me not want to come out the next day. I'm not great at it, but it can look really good. So anyway, I'm going to do them all separate until they get to the bottom here, and then I'm going to double them up. I'm not sure how far I'll go. And then same for these back two, so I'm going to do singles. Again, I'm not great at counting, so I was a little short. So keep that in mind. So I might have to join them together a little higher than I'd like, but go down. There are these factory spot welds, so I really can't go too far anyway. Whatever, that's that. So we'll try and get this done pretty quick. My hands are already numb. I might have to blast on the propane heater here. But I'll throw you on a tripod. You guys can see kind of what it looks like, the struggles. Alright, so I'll do my best to zoom in here. So I'm just going to use this as an example just so I'm able to cut this off after, because if I zip her up nice and tight, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. I may have to do some zooming. It's not ideal that everything's nice and shiny, so you can see on this piece right here. So I'm just going to zip tie my brother's nice Mac needle nose to the pipe. That's just so I'm able to cut it off right after, nice and easy. So as you zip this through, these are nice and smooth. These are nice and smooth, so there's actually no notches for these to zip up with. You can see right in there, there's that little tongue going down. So what I do when I tighten these up is I'll take some tiny screwdriver and I'll kind of push that down and help lock it into place. Now if you just zip these up and walk away, these do tend to loosen. So what I do later is I'll cut this about 1/2 inch down, get rid of most of this excess, and then I'll take the needle nose and I'll actually tighten and wrap it under itself. So you'll see me do that. Usually when I'm doing this, I try and aim this to the outside or somewhere I can do all that work underneath nice and easy, if that made sense. I don't want a bunch of these hanging out in the top, so you can see it'll look a little more clean. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. The ones that come with the box, I think this was like 20-30 Canadian pesos. These things are just junk. So we went out, we've done this a time or two, we got ourselves some decent ones, and they still suck. So it falls entirely onto the person using it. Like I said, I struggled to tie my shoes. That's perfect timing. Way to go. Didn't tie my boots. So, just going to do this next back one. And then I'll probably film the outer two just so you can actually see something. So, give me about 12 hours and I'll get that done-ish. Alright, so this is in no way a how-to. Do I look good? Am I in there?
Yeah, you're in there.
This is in no way a how-to. I cannot stress that enough. We've made progress. Most of it I've done off camera. And that's for a very good reason. I have done each one of these tubes a different way. Like completely different. Didn't even plan on it. It just kind of happened. So here we are. Number 4. I just did a quick little loop like that. And then you count your way down. That's how you roughly end up with this. And it always looks like way too much, and then it always turns out way not enough. So, ain't that some sex appeal though? Oh yeah. So this is one of those moments I feel like I did something wrong. And doing this with very little sleep is not ideal. Wouldn't recommend it. It's going well for me so far. My idea is to do single tube wraps down. Then right here, when it gets too close, I'm gonna start doing a double wrap for the rest of the way there. We just kind of pre-spun it on here, so you don't have to wrap 12 meters around and through this header each time. So what I do personally is I start from the top. So when you do this, you need to tuck the very end underneath, put that against the manifold, and that'll help you prevent fraying and unwrapping. Honestly, it's not that hard. It sucks right now just because it's so cold, but now that I have a few wrapped, I'm not grabbing the bare cold metal itself. So we'll throw in a tripod, start spinning her up, and she's starting to take shape. I just love the way these look when they're wrapped. Gorgeous. Well, it sure looks like that was a terrible camera angle. I'm not taking that off again. So we got all 4 of the main ones done. I have all the tails tucked under here. So as you can see, you twist that up, and I crimped it a couple times. My next step, I'm just gonna give her a tap and flatten her down. This pipe has some spot welds and it gets real tight in some spots, so I couldn't continue this down the way I wanted to. So instead I ended up having to wrap all 4 tubes together, which you're supposed to do anyway. However, because I wasn't planning on doing that, the length I had cut to do this single pipe, and then these two, turned out a lot shorter. It's too short to do all 4, so I have about this much left. So I think I'm going to try and figure out, I think I'm going to be best off starting it here on this tube and tying it off for the start, just like this one. Then I can do the full wrap around all 4 down, probably until the O2 or until we run out. So that's my new game plan, but as you can see, they've come along pretty well. I keep thinking this is a gap in the wrap, just because it's shiny, but that's where I had to start doing both on that side. So it's looking pretty good. I think I'm just going to finish it off here, and then I can do a bit of an overview and see how she looks from a distance. So we have to trim this short and start the wrap again. This time maybe I'll get a good camera angle. We'll see. Let's not get our hopes up now. Part I'm not happy about is right here. If I had, like, honestly 6 more inches, I probably could have done a better wrap here and then tied it off. I did have it routed where it'd come across like this. I thought that looked weird, so kind of just left the gap. Did 2 layers here, tied it off really nice, so she ain't going nowhere. So not terrible, definitely not the best, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I don't know why, but these ties kick my ass constantly. But we got ourselves a nice wrapped header here. That's going on my V16 in my sedan, so you know it's race car prepared. So this will get me an extra nothing. Honestly, I'm more of a racer this time around. I just love wrapped headers. We've had a bunch kicking around for our LS build, so I threw it on. Honestly, I'd almost say it's not worth it, but it looks pretty damn cool. If you have like a turbo application or, you know, a nice V8 swap Jeep or something coming out of the works, and this is pretty crowded in your engine bay, I might do this just to help keep temps down, but for a B16 swap Civic, not necessary. But we had it kicking around, I threw it on, I love how it looks, it's gonna help. But that's that. So yeah, I mean, nice little project. It's gonna help tie it in. I want that engine bay to look real nice, so get all the angles you can here for you guys. Show this side again. So I did the single wrap on the one closest to the block. I went down to about here, and then when I did this other tube, I came out, and at this point I started wrapping both, and that goes probably to the bend right here. So there's a few layers going on here underneath, but whatever, not concerned. Then same thing on this side. I did the one tube all the way down to the corner, and then the other one down to about here, and that's where I had to terminate it. Then from there down, I did the ultimate sin. I couldn't tuck these in between these pipes at the bottom because it had really tight clearance on 3 sides and then tack weld, so I had to lay it on an angle, get a good tie on there, make sure it's tight, and tight wrapping down. So not the best way to do it, it's the way I did it. So I'm gonna go and get warm. Thank you guys for watching. Stay warm, try to. If you like what you see, hang around. We got some, if you like what you're seeing, whether it's the Civic, Tahoe, or Jeep, we should have some videos coming out on all those pretty quick. So stick around, I guess. Try and stay warm. Thanks for watching.